Welcome back to Milan Recording Studios. My name is James Pavel Shakras, and in today's video, I thought I'd do something that's going to be, hopefully, pretty cool. Now, as you can see, I've got the Yamaha PSS A50 sitting here, but today's video is not going to be about the PSS A50. That's for a future video. This is just here for a point of reference, and that point of reference is the price. This is a $100 digital piano from Yamaha, and it's a pretty well-known model. So what I thought I would do, and this is a comment I've seen quite a few times on the channel, is people saying, I want you to get a free piano, or I want you to buy a $100 acoustic piano, not a digital piano, acoustic piano, and see what it's all about. And so today, that is exactly what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be buying a piano, perhaps that costs $100, perhaps $50, perhaps a free piano. I'm going to go online and find a very affordable acoustic piano, get it sight unseen, and then it will show up here at the recording studio, and we will see just how terrible it is, just how good it is, and any redeemable qualities that it actually may have. So I'm going to try to find one that hopefully will be good. I'm not going to just buy one that has missing keys, because there'd be no point in that. So I'm going to buy a piano that looks like it could actually be a legitimate musical instrument that you could totally use and play. And so we're going to do that, and we're going to see what exactly $100, or perhaps even less, $100 can buy you online. And we're going to see if it's even a good idea, because I've said in the past that it's not a good idea to buy a piano sight unseen. So what I'm going to do is completely go against everything I've told you guys in the past and get a piano sight unseen and see how it goes. Let's go look for a piano. So out of all the pianos I've taken a look at so far today, this is by far the best and the most interesting. It's a George Steck piano, a brand I'm not terribly familiar with, but I have heard of and heard good things about. But it says in the title that it must sell by 10/15/2020. And I'll take a look in the description and maybe see what he means by that. Let's do that right now, actually. Scroll down past all the other things for sale. Beautiful upright piano in very good condition, blah, blah, blah. Has an incredible needlepoint seat. Must sell by 10/15 or it's gone, in all caps. So I'm assuming that means, like, the dump? That's what he means by it'll be gone. And even if you know nothing at all about pianos and you've just stumbled across this video, you can probably tell that this piano and that bench, which is pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie, these don't really belong in the dump. This is a bit too nice for that, even just as a piece of furniture. The wood finish on it looks to be very pretty and in very good condition for just $100. The fallboard's in great shape, usually it has scratches and stuff, and there's a closer view of that bench. So honestly, I think I'm sold. It's a low enough price where if it's terrible, hey, it's $100. So I'm gonna get it, and it'll show up at the studio, and then I'll make the video on it. So when that arrives, I will see you. A lot of you guys lately, and even some of my friends, have been calling me the Mad Lad or the Madman, and I suppose that is more true than ever, because we have an acoustic piano that I bought online here, sitting here in the studio, which I think is just kind of crazy. Funnily enough, the color of this is actually really similar to my Hammond B3, and funnily enough, these two actually come from around the same time period. My Hammond B3 is from 1965, and this is actually from 1957, so around the same time period. There's a date stamp somewhere inside of the piano, and I forget where exactly it was now, but there's a date stamp on the inside of this piano that says, I think it was July something of 1957. So as you can see, it's a pretty old piano, but yet, as you can actually see, it is pretty. It is beautiful. It does have some small, minor nicks on the finish, but overall it is in beautiful condition. Every single key works perfectly. It sounds very, very nice for a $100 acoustic piano, and I'm just blown away by this fact. And so part of the reason I got this is because I think it would be a cool video, and I think you guys will hopefully enjoy it. But the other part of the reason that I wanted to get it is because in the eBay ad, it was implied that this piano would be thrown away. And with some pianos, it's justifiable to throw them away.
this is not one of those pianos that is justifiable to throw it away. The inside is not full of mouse poop. There are not missing keys. There are not missing panels. The strings are not rusted. It is in beautiful condition. It is a 100% playable instrument. You could easily use this to learn pieces and play music and have a lot of fun with it. So in today's video, I thought I would explore the world of the $100 acoustic piano, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. Now, if you guys like this a lot, do make sure to give this video a like and to share it around, because if it gets enough attention, I will do this again. I will get more cheap acoustic pianos, bring them to the studio, and make videos of them if you guys actually enjoy that enough. For this particular piano, we did something absolutely crazy. I actually sent one of my family members 600 miles each way to New Jersey to get this piano, which is ridiculous and honestly makes no sense, but I did it anyways, and thank you very much, that family member did that for me, because without them, this video would not be able to be made. So that is just something I wanted to talk about. And before I get started with the actual video, the other thing I wanted to say is I will actually be, once I'm done using this piano, I've got a couple of videos planned out for it, but once I'm done with this piano, I will actually be putting it back up on eBay for the original price that I paid, which is $100. So this will be going back up online on eBay for sale. So if any of you guys are interested in it, feel free to drop by. I'll post the eBay link, I think, in the comments or description once that listing goes live. And you guys can, if you want, bid on it. And I think that might be kind of fun. So the way that's going to work is if you want to have like a shipper come out and pick up the piano and bring it to you, that will work. If the price goes high enough and you're local relatively to my area within a few hundred miles, maybe I'll think about actually delivering it myself as well. But it will be actually picked up and shipped from my studio to your place. So that is something I wanted to talk about. That's how the shipping on this is going to work. But other than that, that's what's going to be happening. That's going to be the fate of this piano. Is not going to be a garbage dump, but is instead going to be sold to someone else who hopefully will enjoy it for many years to come. Now, a lot of you guys have been enjoying videos of cheap digital pianos, such as, for example, this bad boy here, the PSS A50, which I will be doing a video of in the future, and I'll also be comparing it against this, too, because they're in the same price bracket. But I'm going to kind of deviate from that comparison and try to avoid making comparisons between digital pianos and acoustic pianos in today's video, because that's not what it's for. But what I will do is play this piano and tell you guys about some of the wonderful things that make it truly amazing. But of course, I can't help myself, and I will make some comparisons between this and a digital piano. And one of the things I wanted to say is that one of the things that is undeniably better about this than literally any digital piano that money can buy is the build quality. You have solid, like, rock-hard maple across many components of this piano. For example, one that is definitely obvious that I can show you is the lid here. This lid that opens up to allow access and to even allow sound out if you wanted to is made of solid maple. And this is something you wouldn't even find in just about most acoustic pianos. You do find exotic woods on acoustic pianos these days, but those are veneers. That's a thin layer of wood that's almost as thin as paper, or a couple sheets of paper, and that goes over the base wood that is underneath, which is typically a simpler type of wood, and then the veneer makes it look pretty. This is solid maple, and that's something that you really won't see today. That's just not worth the expense, not worth the time for a piano. So no one really does that anymore. The legs, which hopefully you can see, are huge. They are sturdy, they are solid, you know, again, I believe maple, and that's just something you don't see today. If someone had wanted to produce this piano with these same quality components in today's era, it would probably cost $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 to produce this. And you can buy this for $100, which is incredible, absolutely incredible. And this is why I wanted to make this video, because this piano is not worthy of the garbage dump. I mentioned earlier that there are some pianos that are worthy of that fate, and this is definitely not one of those. It's a fully functioning piano that is honestly absolutely beautiful. And before I get around to playing it, the final thing I wanted to talk about is the final reason why I think that this acoustic piano is better than the majority of digital pianos, and that is because an acoustic piano lasts an undeniably longer amount of time than a digital piano. And some might say that's not true at all. An acoustic piano sound can change, and the hammers can change, and it'll need maintenance, whereas a digital piano's sound will never change. It will always be the same file. And while that technically is true, A digital piano will change in relation to what else is out on the market. If you look at a flagship digital piano from 10 or 15 years ago, you'll see that it pales in comparison to the flagship digital pianos made today. But if you look at a flagship acoustic piano from any manufacturer 10, 15 years ago, even 30 or 40 years ago, if it's a good example of a flagship piano from that era, it will still be on par with modern flagship acoustic pianos. And that, I think, is truly incredible. And that kind of goes to show that the piano doesn't age as quickly as people think it does. Like I said, this was made in 1957, and as you can see, and as you're about to hear, it looks beautiful, and it actually still sounds very, very nice. The sound would be improved if it had new hammers and new strings, but that's kind of worth a little bit too much for something like this. But regardless, it is a stunning piano, probably one of the best examples of a $100 piano that I've ever seen. And now we're about to take a listen to it. So I hope you enjoy. As you can hear, that sounded actually really quite beautiful, and I think most of you probably weren't expecting something to sound that pretty and come from a $100 acoustic piano. I really genuinely love this piano. I think the sound of it and the action is honestly really, really great. And I think a piano like this that's in good condition would be an excellent instrument for a student. But not only would it be a good piano for a student, because that argument could also be made for a $100 digital piano. The thing about this is that an acoustic piano like this will grow with you, and as I said earlier, last many, many more years longer than most digital pianos would. This instrument would easily be viable for certainly the first 5 or 6 years of your studies, perhaps even longer if you kept up with the piano. And that piece that I played there is very, very simple. Harmonically, physically, very simple piece, very beautiful piece. But what I'm going to do now is play some pieces of more advanced classical Baroque music, and just play a small assortment of a few different other things, and see how this piano handles those. I'm going to play some Beethoven, some Mozart, some Bach, and we're going to see what happens. Especially with the Beethoven sample that I'm going to play, it works best on a high-end piano, and it typically kind of starts to fall apart when you play it on a lower-end piano. But let's try and see it. Let's try it out and check it out on here and see what happens. I'm thinking it's going to handle it pretty well. So let's try out some Mozart, some Bach, and some Beethoven in no particular order. I think we'll start with Bach, though. I'll be uploading complete performances of all 3 of those pieces once I am done learning them over on the Milan Recording Studios channel, so if that sounds cool, you might want to go check out that in the future too. But the reason I played all 3 of those is because 2 of them for sure, and the third one to a slightly lesser degree, are rather advanced pieces of classical, and in the case of Bach, Baroque music. And they all require a degree of finesse from a piano that you normally wouldn't expect or find in a $100 class piano. So with the Bach, you had the delicate melodies interweaving in between each other, and at certain times you want to bring out certain fingers of one hand and let the other ones stay a little bit below that. And a lot of the times pianos of this price point will struggle with that, but this one actually doesn't, and you can pretty much play that piece just fine. And for the Mozart, this piano has a very light, delicate action, which is perfect for that type of music. So you can play really fast, articulated music very, very precisely, and it does that very, very well. The one it probably struggled the most with would be the Beethoven. I prefer to play that particular passage on a piano with a heavier action, and I feel like the piano kind of gets away from me a little bit with a lighter action. And I'd say that if it was a higher end piano with a lighter action too, just lighter actions in general, I find weaken that piece for me. However, the action in this piano was able to play it up to speed, and it was able to do it. So that, I think, alone is actually very impressive, because that's the type of music you'd want to perform on a high-end piano, not a $100 piano, and yet this little thing can still do it. So that, I think, is actually a pretty impressive demonstration of what this instrument is capable of doing. All 3 of these pieces are pieces of music that most people would probably learn, many years after they first begin to play the piano. And you can play them on this. And so that, I think, is a great demonstration of why a piano like this is so valuable. For $100, you get not only a cool-looking piece of furniture and, in a sense, a work of art, but you also get a fantastic musical instrument that actually will be able to support your musical knowledge for many years to come, unlike most digital pianos. And that, I think, is really why I still love acoustic pianos, even super affordable ones like this. The final thing I wanted to play, I think, will bring us full circle back to the beginning of the video here. Many of you guys remember what that piece of music was from at the very beginning, and so I will play another little selection from that same source, and hopefully you guys like it. It's very easy to have a lot of fun with a $100 piano, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video a lot. I have definitely enjoyed this video. The making of it was very fun. Buying this piano and getting it to the studio and working on it and tuning it up and getting it to be completely video worthy was absolutely wonderful, and I really have enjoyed this experience, and I would love to do it again. So if you guys really enjoyed this video, like I said earlier, definitely give it a like, share it amongst your friends, anyone you know, and also if you enjoyed this video, you might want to check out my channel and maybe thinking about subscribing. I do lots of videos of acoustic pianos, digital pianos, and all kinds of stuff in between, everything from the highest of the high end to now the lowest of the low end. But yet, although price-wise this is the lowest of the low end, physically it is not the lowest of the low end, and in fact I'd say this is actually a very, very nice piano, which is why in fact I made this video. So that wasn't really an accurate statement there. This is actually a pretty nice piano, which is why I made the video of it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video nonetheless, and if you did, you might want to check out my channel, and you also might want to check out MilanRecordingStudios.com and my second channel, Milan Recording Studios, for more behind the scenes stuff regarding the studio. If any of that sounds cool, you might want to go check that out, and if you do, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.